I've got 2 blocks and a blanket somewhere behind me. You may have something similar or a little different at home. We're here for 45 minutes. I call it slow flow. Maybe it should be like really slow flow would be a better descriptor, and that's fine too. But we'll move at a pace that suits us. So let's start off lying on our backs. And so right here from the beginning, we all, including myself, have permission to take up space in a way that makes sense. And it could be arms and legs stretched wide like a starfish. You may prefer bending your knees and letting them fall inward or even outward from one another. You can also support yourself with any props that are available. And just take a few rounds of breath to kind of move around, stretch and settle down into this shape. And as you do so, let your eyes look around you and just get a good sense of your surroundings. And as we're ready, we'll either close our eyes or let them fix on one object that's shiny and interesting. Give yourself a big breath in, bigger breath out. 2 more, breathe in, maybe a little bigger, and let it go. 1 more round, breathe in, a little bigger, hold it in, and let it go. Scan your body from head to heel and just notice where you're touching the floor. And it may be a little different for us all, so just notice the parts of you that are connected to the ground and your mat beneath you. Knowing that in this moment, none of this is going anywhere, so you can soften, relax just a tiny bit more. Notice your thoughts, as if you could pull your thoughts out of your mind and project them up onto the ceiling. Let's see your thoughts as something separate from yourself. Just notice the quantity, the quality, the ones that are cycling on repeat. And then come right back to your breath. Just like that. Go from thinking and noticing to just breathing. Nothing more to do. But be here fully for your inhale and exhale. Fall into a rhythm of breathing. And that's one that's sustainable. So deep enough to nourish you without tiring you. Allow for a deeper experience of your breath, whatever that means to you. Slow it down, soften it out, listen in. And keep this deep, deep listening to your breath. Now let's all bend our knees and place feet flat to the floor. Give your toes and heels a little light drumming and tapping. And then drop hands down to the ground. Little drumming of your fingertips, spreading wide of your palms. And start to move with your breath. So inhale, stretch arms up towards the ceiling. And maybe they continue to reach and stretch until they touch the floor behind you. And then when it's time, exhale and start to sweep arms back up towards the sky. And drop them down to the ground. 2 more just this way. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Let hands stay by your side and pull knee in towards your chest. And if you would like, you can wrap your hands around the outside of your shin. Just let your thigh be buoyant in towards your belly. Take some rolls in your ankle and foot. And it may feel nice to just rock your head a little side to side, giving a little massage to the back of your skull. Extend hands underneath your right leg, gently clasping your fingertips. Let's take a few moments to bend and straighten your entire right leg. Maybe it only straightens a little bit. Maybe it's able to straighten a lot. Just be kind and compassionate, listening in to your right hamstrings. Taking the time you need. There's no rush. One more reach up. And let's take figure 4. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Keep in mind we're still in the beginning phases of our practice. So you can let your right knee move closer and further away from you, maybe with the assistance of your right hand. Or maybe you choose to lift your left foot, threading hands inside or outside your left knee. Try to keep head and shoulders softly supported by the floor. One more breath in. Release this out. Take up all the space, stretching wide like a starfish. Maybe a little squeezing, flexing through your fingers and toes. And then curl into a tight little ball. This time lift head and shoulders off the floor. Squeeze nose towards knees, knees towards nose. Squeeze as tight as you can. 3, 2, 1, and release. And we'll keep our left leg, extend or bend the right. Hug left leg in, feeling a little buoyancy happening here in hip and quad and thigh. And then hold it in here. Take a little movement. Left foot, ankle, toes. Stretch and extend left leg towards the sky. Gently clasp your hands behind your leg. And just take a few moments to bend and straighten here. And there's no rush in getting your leg to become super straight. Let this be more about the journey than it is the destination. One more inhale, reach and lengthen. And figure 4, cross left ankle over your right thigh. And again, you have options. You can just keep the left knee moving softly. Or maybe you choose to lift your right foot, threading hands inside or outside your right knee. Relax through your head and shoulders. Breathe in. Release out. Taking up space this time, stretching the length of your mat. And then from here, let's just roll over onto one side and then eventually over onto our bellies. And you may need to move any props or other things to the side or even adjust so your belly comes back to the mat versus not on the mat. Come right into crocodile pose. Cross one arm in front of the other. Walk toes apart, heels in as you drop your forehead down. I want to take 5 or so deep breaths here. Breathe in, belly, ribs, heart. Exhale, allow it to release. 4 more breaths. One more breath. And release your arms, but slide your hands slightly under your shoulders. Press firmly through the palms, tuck through your toes, tabletop. Push the floor away as you lift on up. And then melt on back, child's pose, hips to heels, heart to floor. Good, and then breathe in, come on forward, tabletop. And then breathe on out, drop on down. Send elbows towards toes as you lower heart towards floor. Good, now this time take a little cobra, breathe in, press through your toes and hands, stretch up through your heart. Exhale, roll back down. Breathe in, push the floor away, all fours. Breathe out, child. You can keep toes tucked or untucked. Good, take a breath here. Inhale, hold, exhale. Again, we flow. Inhale, come on forward, all fours. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Breathe in, cobra. Exhale, lower. Tabletop. Child's. Good. One breath here. We'll do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Last round. Inhale. Table. Exhale to the floor. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, lower. Inhale, tabletop, lift. Exhale, child's, melt. And then come back forward into tabletop. Let's take some time here. You're welcome to place a little blanket under your knees or hands or both. Sliding knees as wide as your mat, hands too. And start with just a little shifting forward, back, side to side, noticing the sensations and pressure in your wrists. Then start to move in any other ways that are calling to you. And maybe there's a little cat and cow, dropping your belly round through your spine. Or maybe you want a little gentle tail wagging. There's some weird, funky combination that just feels really good. Invitation to close our eyes. And instead of looking outward, tune inward. Giving yourself attention and affection. rounds of breath, creating any balance and symmetry that you need. Neutral tabletop. Breathe in, stay here. Breathe out, down dog. Tuck your toes, stretch and lift through your hips. And do that twice more. Inhale, table, drop down to your knees. Look forward with your eyes. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. And hold in this shape if it suits you. And just take your dog on a little walk. Or maybe it feels nice to shift weight around from here. Just noticing how your body is showing up in this shape in this moment. Doing your best to just notice without criticizing or judging. And then take a little pause. Breathe in. Breathe out. Forward fold. Let's get up in front, back, center of your mat. Just bring hands and feet a little closer together. And you're welcome to let your arms dangle free like little wind chimes. Or you may grab your opposite elbow like a rag doll. You can also find them on blocks or any other things to bring the floor a little closer to you. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more rounds. Release your binds. And then press firmly through your feet as you come to stand. And it could look like a roll up. Maybe pull elbows in towards hip bones like little T-Rex arms and take a more controlled hinge to stand. And at the top, give yourself a little wiggle and jiggle, little happy to be alive dance. And let's bring ourselves to the top of the mat. And it could be moving yourself forward. It could just be deciding to turn yourself around and, oh, there's the front. If you would like blocks nearby, maybe grab both of them so they're handy. Check. All right, and then take a moment to ground, toes, heels. Let this strength move up into your ankles, into your shin bones. Keep a little softness in our knees. Sourcing strength up into our thigh bones. Let your pelvis, your hips be a little more natural, neutral, whatever that means. And from here, grow just a little longer, taller in your heart and your head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Now, next inhale, stretch both arms up to the sky and maybe your eyes follow. Exhale, fold forward like a waterfall of honey. Melt your belly to your thighs as you drop hands to the floor or to your blocks. Breathe in, take a halfway lift and lengthen, extend heart from hips. Breathe out, soften and fold. Inhale, rise to standing, press through your heels, press through your toes, stretch up, reach up, maybe even look up. And just keep this going. Exhale, fold forward, empty out. Halfway lift. Fold. Rise. And just keep this going. Move at your own pace. One more round. Maybe slow it down. Maybe close your eyes. Meeting back in our standing. Breathe in. Breathe out. And next breath in, reach up tall through your hands and heart once more. And then breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, send your right foot to the back of your mat, dropping on down to your right knee. Low lunge on your left side. You can choose to keep those back toes tucked or untuck them. Now just take time to settle here, sinking hips more towards the floor. Maybe a little pulsing forward and back. And then over time, you may want to move a little more. You can consider straightening through your front leg, flexing through your front toes. Your hands are not stuck, so they can move with you, even the blocks. And then pause here in your low lunge. Try on dragon's lunge, so just bring both hands inside your front foot. I like to walk my front foot out a little wider, maybe even pointing toes out to 10 or 11 o'clock. And you can choose to keep your hands down or start to drop your elbows down. And the blocks will bring the floor closer to you, whatever height you need. Give your chin and fingers a little wiggle. Soften through palms and face. One more breath in. Long, slow breath out. Press both hands down into your blocks. Lift your heart. Then let's step or swing our front foot, left foot back. Coming back to all fours, tabletop. Take a little circle and swivel in your hips and heart. Then try it on a child's pose, melt on back. Crawl your fingertips more forward, and then over to your left. Lengthen long through your right side. Coming back to center. Take a breath in, breath out. And then crawl your hands over to your right. Lengthen through your left. Breathe out. Come through center. And then come back forward, tabletop. Little circle in your hips and heart. Good, and then we're gonna take our right foot forward so we can do these lunges on the second side. So it can look like a big swing around, bringing right foot to the right. Maybe it's easier to bring it straight through and forward. And you can use your hands to bring right foot a little closer to the top as you need to. Just take some time to settle in here. And I tend to notice a little bit more excitement in the back leg when it's my second side, right? Because my left leg just did a lot. So if you're noticing anything new in your left side, just be with that, whatever it is. And over time, consider straightening your front leg. Low lunge, splits prep. Your hands can move with you. Back forward, low lunge. Dragon's lunge. Drop both hands, maybe blocks inside your front foot. You can walk right toes as wide as you need to, maybe even point out to 1 or 2 o'clock. And then consider staying here or starting to drop down, elbows, forearms towards the floor or blocks. Then make the floor come to you. So don't feel like you're crouching or crunching just to get to the floor. Instead, build it a little taller. Relax your hands and your face. Breathe in. One more breath. I'm going to listen carefully. Place hands back under your shoulders, lift through your heart. Good, now we're going to walk our right foot across the mat and come into deer pose. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, eventually bringing right foot to the left corner. And then bend into your front knee and back knee a lot so you can drop on down to the ground. And if you had any blankets back there, they may feel better moving out of your way. And adjust so you can send your heart a little more forward, a little twist in your hips. And then start to walk yourself down. A block under your forehead or heart may feel pleasant. And if you would like, you could start to straighten your back leg, but I highly suggest supporting right hip and knee here. Breathe in. Breath in. Long, slow breath out. And slowly sit up. Good, so listen carefully. Keep your legs as they are and then come to the center. So it may look like bringing hands to blocks, walking them towards your sitting bones. And there's a little twist and turn, right? So you can face the long edge of your mat. And from here, just take a little windshield wipers of your knees, right to left. Good. And then take on a wide-legged forward fold. So it can look like sending feet forward and then just widening them a little bit. It can look like continuing to bring them as wide as your mat, adjusting your seats and hips. Try to keep kneecaps pointing up, and let's breathe in, sit up tall. Breathe out, fold forward. Maybe just go a little bit, tilting from your pelvis. Good, again, inhale, rise up. Exhale, stretch and fold down. Maybe going a little further. One more round, breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, drop down and fold. Hands to the floor, maybe a block or two. And then for a moment, just keep some action in your side bodies and torso. Sitting down through the sitting bone, lengthening through the side bodies and heart. You can choose to stay here or round on purpose. Think rolling forward of your chin towards your chest and a rounding of your shoulders towards the floor. Breathe here. One more breath. Slowly come back up. All right, so we're going to turn ourselves towards our left leg and end up facing the opposite side in our deer pose on our left side. So bend your knees, and this should be our second side. And start to turn onto the outer hip, turning right knee down. And of course, take time to adjust to where you feel the most sturdy and stable. Take the little twist, little turn in your torso, and then fold forward over your left shin. Build props to come to you, resting forehead or heart down. And then you can choose to start to straighten your right leg a little or a lot. Settle into this shape. Three more breaths. Let's sit back up. And again, come back into the center space, facing the short or the long edge of your mat, excuse me. It takes a little windshield wipers of your knees. But now bring the bottoms of your feet together, knees wide. Slide your feet a little further away from you so legs become like a diamond shape. And then again, sit up tall, tilt and hinge forward, keeping the strength in your side bodies. Just one more breath here. And then round and fold forward, dropping nose towards shin, maybe a block. Maybe making little two gentle little fists with your hands. One more breath in. Slowly sit up. Use your hands to gather your knees, pulling kneecaps up towards the sky. And then push feet forward straight ahead. Just give your toes a little point and flex. And they may move independently or maybe together. Nice, so pull knees into your chest and then bring yourself to lie on your spine. Just turning into the side and into the way that feels best. Rolling on down to your back. You can keep your knees in with you and just give them a little squeeze, rocking right to left, left to right. Find yourself into happy baby. Pull knees in towards armpits. Stretch hands for knees, ankles, or feet. And it may feel nice to rock a little side to side, feeling the backs of your ribs, side ribs connect to the floor. Or maybe you settle here, flexing through the feet. Release your feet. Pull your knees in towards your chest and then twist. Push both knees over to your left and maybe a block comes under your left knee or even between both knees. Open up wide to your right. Breathe here, belly, ribs, heart. Two more breaths. And twist, come to center. Breathe in. Send it on out. Then twist in the opposite way. Drop knees to your right. Open up and look to your left. Full belly breaths. Two more. And release. For a moment, take up all the space. Stretching hands and feet in opposite directions. Maybe getting some rolls in your ankles and wrists, a little shaking in your head and neck. Good, and then curl into a ball. Hug knees towards nose, nose towards knees, lifting shoulders and head off the floor. Good, and make a little tighter ball, squeezing toes, squeezing hands, squeeze face, squeeze belly, squeeze glutes. Tightest little ball you got, hugging in tight for 10, 9, 8, 7, squeeze tighter, 6, 5, 4, tighter still, 3, 2, 1, and release. And allow yourself to take any other shapes that feel right or necessary. Moving ourselves towards a shape of final rest. And this rest can happen on your back, side, or belly. There are no rules to your rest, just that you do rest. And trusting and knowing that you are enough and that you have done way, way, way more than enough. And this deep, deep rest is your birthright. Shavasana. Breathe in. Breathe out. Without moving, notice the heaviness of your bones. Supportiveness of the floor beneath you. Slowly deepen your breath. Inspiring little movements in your fingertips and toe tips. Wrists and ankles. Arms and legs. And in your own way and time, start to slowly wake up. Taking the next 3 to 5 breaths to move from lying down to some sort of seated shape. Taking notice of how you feel in your body, breath, mind, stuff. From wherever you are, place hands to heart center. Let's take one more breath together. Inhale. Optional Om. Breathe in. And drop chin towards chest. Taking one little final moment together in reverence, love, and gratitude, first for yourself, also for each other, and finally for our long lineage of teachers, spanning back thousands and thousands of years to the subcontinent of India that have made all these practices available for us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for flowing with me.